Guys, I'm Chef Lim. So we will start the class and Q&A session at 4:05 p.m., which is another 5 p.m. Another 5 more minutes. Due to now only 70 people, not much. We wait another 5 minutes. Have a look. Okay, everybody. We will will start now. Then I will share the screen. Everybody can hear me? Okay, I have feedback. You can hear. Good. Okay, now we have 26 person in the line. So today our topic, we will go through the upculture online, okay, which is the classic cake, the basic classic cake. You search for the subject, we have about 7 types of the classic cake inside, which is opera cake, Sacher cake, Mille-feuille, backfurrow shallot. I have 2 Mille-feuille. Sorry. And Swiss roll, Mocha cake. Okay, I will start one by one. If you have any question, we can go through. You can check the recipe you get now. And then I will start with opera cake. Okay, opera cake, we have the biscuit jargon. We have the coffee syrup. We also have the coffee buttercream. We have the chocolate ganache. And then the chocolate glaze to glazing. Okay. During you doing the try for the opera cake, if you're facing any problem, you can ask now. I hope you can come out the answer by one, and then the question one by one, which is now is the opera cake. You just go through the opera cake. You don't suddenly come out the Swiss roll. I will go through one by one. So now it's opera cake. Any question, please ask. Do you PSK? Do you don't have the coffee syrup recipe? You sure? It's supposed together with the box one now. So this is a coffee syrup recipe. I already sent inside the chat. I hope everybody can see. This is not eggless, guys. Okay. This is not eggless. Okay. How to store your almond biscuit? Okay. Normally I will immediately done already. I will use for directly. If you want to keep, you keep inside the freezer is the best. Okay. Because you keep inside the freezer, the fridge already. When you want to use it, you can take out and defrost. But normally I will use fresh because they're still soft, easy to working. It's up to you. If you really want to store, you store inside the freezer. If not, you want to use later, maybe after a few hours, then you can store inside the chiller. Then like that, you don't need to wait so long for the defrosting about how to soak the syrup inside faster. So you keep inside the chiller, king wrap it, done. Any question? You can go through the recipe, how to do the cream blur, chocolate ganache, coffee syrup, and then the layering. You're facing any problems? Okay, opera cake is from the Doloyal, France. It's come out by the Sylvia Gavilon. Doloyal is the shop of the Paris. Okay, BSK asks, can we use instant coffee in a coffee cream? Coffee buttercream, is it? Okay, you can use, okay, I give you example, coffee paste. For Nescafe, we're using, you can use 50 grams of the Nescafe and 30 grams of hot water. So this is the paste. Once you're done already, you let it cool down. Then your buttercream is done. You add inside how much you want. Okay. This one is quite thick. You see the water content is less. Guys, if you want eggless program, I'm not ready today. Okay. I hope you understand. Now, not chill cheesecake, guys. It's the classic cake. Other subject, other chef will be answered. Okay. You don't make the thing become mess. Okay. I already mentioned here. It's about this 6 cake. What you want to ask, you ask, because it will go through a lot. If still got time, and then I will continue. Okay. Okay, Muskan, you understand? Now it's not the eggless program, also not the cheesecake. Based on what I share now, okay, you see, you have the question, you ask for opera cake now. If no more question for opera cake, I will go to the second Sacher cake. Okay, Jin Hong, hi chef, for opera cake, if I want to use the biscuit jargon to the coffee flavor, how can I modify? Okay, first question I ask you, you can add in some coffee paste or coffee emulker inside the. Do you have butter? You can mix together with the butter. Okay, you just add about 10% inside, which is you have the total amount of the spun maybe is 300 grams. You just add 3 grams of the coffee emulker or coffee paste, or your just now I give the recipe one. You can make the coffee syrup, the coffee paste. You can add inside, then you can get the coffee flavor. If not, you can directly add the Nescafe inside with the butter also can. Second question, which version coffee buttercream is you more prefer? The cream anglaise version or Italian? I will prefer the cream anglaise version because the taste will be lighter and then the texture almost like mousse. For big production opera, okay, the cost for the anglaise will be slightly higher. It depends on you. If you feel that you want the taste better and then you still allowed to use more cost, no problem. You can go through with that. Okay. Okay, Muskan. For the eggless program, Chat Angelo will be answered in the future. For this month, the schedule out, we're asking the basic one. Eggless will be afterward. Okay, hope you understand. We not say we skip the eggless program. We will come up the subject Q&A on the August. It's the same. If you can ask during on the time. Okay, I hope you don't run out from the topic. If not, you will drag a lot of time for other people and not fair for them. Actually, no, sorry for opera. It's from the shop called Dolaya. They inspire, not inspire. They come out the coffee and chocolate version. Okay, opera cake, and then you can see the cake is finishing is a lot of layer and then very elegant and then the finishing is very good, so that they're famous until now. And then the taste wise also very good because the coffee, buttercream, and the chocolate is a very match. So if any question now for opera cake, if not, we can jump to another one. Guys, give me the feedback, please. The different like Jogon, Genoas. Okay. The Jogon contain the almond powder inside, and then they have the separate egg white and egg yolk. There is biscuit yogurt almost like the financier. They just add in the butter, not add in the butter, they add in the meringue inside. They become like very soft sponge, and then so for genoise, you need to do the sabayon to wake up, and then you add in the flour and then the fat, then you get the genoise. Okay? Any question, guys, about opera? If not, I will go through the Sacher cake. Is it okay, opera? For opera cake? If you cannot remember, I show you the opera picture is like this one. Okay? The Chetan made one. This one. They write out the wording on top one. Okay? This one layer by layer. Okay? It's a very classic. You see, no chocolate, any chocolate decoration. You just see like that. They're already very good combination. Very good combination, but very good taste. And then the finishing is nice. You got so many layers. And then only one thing very important is you need to respect. A lot of Asian, they do the opera cake, they do wrong. Why? Too tall. If you got chance to go to the Europe or French, you can see the opera cake normally 3 to 4 cm, even it's 4 layer, 3 to 4 cm. This is the key how you make the opera. You don't make your sponge too thick, okay? Acetate, you just buy at the supplier in the bakery shop, or maybe you can go stationary, okay? We get in the Pastry Pro CL. For opera layer slice, what? The opera, okay, 3 to 4 cm, which is you can slide 3 times 12 cm, okay? 3 cm times 12 cm, the sizes. Or maybe you can do 2.5 cm with 10. Critic, now is not the time for expand the NH pectin, okay? I hope you understand. Now we stick to the opera cake, okay? I hope you don't run out from the other question. Once the classic cake topic done, only you can ask other question. Pata gasse, you can go to the any supplier bakery shop also have even you say the Pastry Pro, or maybe you say the Bake with Yen. Bake with Yen, I'm not sure, but Hoy confirm have how of ingredient. You can get it. It's not a difficult. Just whether you got find or not. Pata gasse is if you don't want, you can use the gourmet glaze to replace it. There is no opera cake for eggless program, okay? Mihika, sorry. About the eggless program, don't ask over here. I say already I mentioned so many times. You can ask during the Chat Angelo class. He's the guy who is the better to answer it, because I also not the guy who read the recipe for eggless. I'm not suitable to answer now. If you really want me to pass a message after this 6 cake done already, then you can pass me. I can ask Angelo to explain in future. In opera cake, is it necessary to use the yogurt or always? Can we use normal sponge? Yes, you can change to the other type of sponge, but they won't soak a lot of syrup. If you put a lot of the coffee syrup already, you will get very soft layer of the sponge. So it's very easy to collapse, and then they maybe not will stand. They won't stand well. They will maybe collapse after 1 or 2 hours because the buttercream will be sliced. Okay, you need to take care so that if you really want to do the classic opera, please stick to the normal jogon. There is the almond flavor inside the sponge, and then they also you need to consider the biscuit jogon. It will help you to hold the coffee syrup. If you put a siphon sponge or normal genoise sponge, you still can hold, but the texture is not right, and then it will be too thick sometimes. Okay. And then the Jogon sponge have more elastic than the normal Genoa sponge. You need to understand about that. Okay. Check. Can we use white chocolate ganache like doing pistachio au plat to mix pistachio paste? You can do this one, no problem. But for the classic, no. Classic still the coffee and the chocolate. They got so many variations. They have raspberry au plat, they have the pistachio au plat, they also have the caramel au plat. Then you have the basic like coffee buttercream with the ganache already. Then you want to modify it, you can modify. Any question, guy, about au plat? Pata glace is like the gourmet glace, which is a chocolate that contains oil inside, so that when you bite it, there is like the magnum ice cream, the texture. Okay, so if you put the chocolate, there will be a bit dense and hard to bite, and then it's not easy to working. Ganache is the cream plus the chocolate. It's the normally they fill in inside the bonbon and the cakes. Okay, it's not using for the decoration. PSK. Thanks. I'm not sure the white chocolate ganache for cream. You need to check because I don't know what you apply for the what ganache you want to apply for the bonbon or for the opera. Okay. Mihika, now we're going to the classic cake subject. Why you keep going asking the eggless program? There is no eggless, there is no opera cake in the eggless. Okay, I hope you understand. Freezer or chiller? Okay, normally we will, once we build the cake already, we will keep inside the freezer. When we want to, we at least chill 2 to 3 hours in the freezer. Let it become the nice shape already, everything set. So when you take out from the freezer, you can slide. Because this cake, you don't go too, we can say you don't go too soft and slice. You need to slide during the a bit dense or hard, because we will cut out nicely. Then normally we will, after take out from the freezer, we will glaze the pata glace or maybe the chocolate glaze on top. After that, we will slide immediately. If not, once your cake in the room temperature or the chiller already, then soften. And then you remember the sponge inside contain a lot of coffee syrup, buttercream also will easy to split because due to the liquid come out. So when you slide, it will be easy to spoil the shape and the layer. Okay? Any question, guys? If not, I will go through the Sacher cake, guys. In the pastry kitchen, only freezer and chiller. I don't know what is a freezer. It's normal freeze. Normal freeze, you need to put inside the fridge, which can become the ice one. Okay, guys. Yes, maybe you need to keep half day inside the normal fridge in the house. There is a different. Professional chiller is purposely designed for doing the kitchen work. So they don't consider too much about like the other veggie inside, because normally we will keep everything is a pastry one inside. Okay, if you use the temperature in the house one, house normal fridge, I'm so sorry, you may need to keep for half day or maybe 1 day. They only can freeze nicely. And that also depend on the how many hours of your freezer. Okay, I cannot give you a one very clear answer here, because every home have the different brand, different function, different code or function and power freezer. I cannot give you one example. So you be smart, you check whether the cake is enough hard, then you take out. Okay. In the temperature, okay, the Mahuri, okay. is the temperature and time vary from the one oven to other, because we try to mention the temperature and time is burned. I think all the chef have mentioned before, you need to test your temperature and then always await with your oven. All the oven, even the same brand, you put 4 together, they will come out different result. So as a professional, or maybe you are a home baker, you need to go and verify what is the right temperature to bake. For example, we give you 160. Maybe your oven if I using the big oven and small oven, they come out a different result. So we give you the temperature is a guideline. For example, sometimes I using 160, but I using the combi oven, I just use 140. So be smart. And then the timing also, you need to plus and minus. The oven inside your house, you are the most understanding. Okay, you need a try, and then you can see the result from the video. When is the sponge come out, what is the color? So you based on that is a guideline. Then you check during your oven. Once it's done, which the color like that, then you take out. Okay. You can keep the opera cake inside the freezer for maximum 2 weeks is no problem. Freezer, which is -18 to -21. Okay. If the normal room temperature like 0 to 4 degree chiller, I think you can store it about 3 days to 4 days. If not, your cake will starting out shape, and then it will start different taste. Because you keep inside the chiller, the temperature not so cold, it will start absorb the other flavor. If you serve your customer, also not good. For the Jogon, you can keep inside the freezer for 2 weeks, no problem. Yes, you can keep the Jogon before you assembling, no problem. I mentioned already, you can keep inside the chiller first, you can keep inside the freezer. Freezer 2 weeks, chiller 2 days maximum, because it will dry. Okay, I put, because due to the already half an hour, we go to another one. It's not enough time. So now Sacher cake. Any question, guys? Sacher cake question, please. Any question, guys? Stephanie, how you say smoother cake? Because Sacher thought for this our school version consider quite soft already. For the classic Sacher cake actually is quite thick. It's almost like 6 inch. The cm about 3 to 4 no, it's about 5 cm tall like that. It's only 2 span, 1 layer of the ganache, and then the apricot glaze. Our version consider a bit modern already. That's why the result a bit soft. It's very easy to eat. It's melted in the mouth. If you follow Stephanie, if you follow the Chef Tan teaching your method, you will get very soft cake. Except you over bake your sponge, then different story. Okay, you need to check. You can, according to Chef Tan teaching in the video, the result we try so many times because this is our part-time program. We always do, so we know the result. Okay, not only Chef Tan know how to do, everybody know how to do this cake because we always practice for this cake. This cake is very soft because the ganache also connect a lot of the liquid inside, and then the apricot jam compote also is very soft. The sponge also soft, so the supposed come out is very smooth cake, melted in mouth, I can say. So any question, guys? For the Sacher cake, since we are using small oven, I could bake 2 sponge in one time. Can I put the cake batter as first and use for second bake? You can do, but you can keep inside the chiller. At least they can hold the shape. They won't collect too much bubble. Okay, which is you using small oven, I understand. During you spreaded the spun already, then another tray you can put inside the freezer or chiller first. So at least the temperature is cold, it's not warm, right? So the butter won't collapse too much. Any question, guys? Sacher cake is from Austria. It's from the Hotel Sacher. It's very famous. You can check if you got chance, you go to the Austria, you can try this cake. They will normally serve together with Vienna coffee with a cream chantilly. It's very nice. Okay, it's a very classic. It's considered one of the chocolate gateau, which with chocolate cake is very famous. It's past few hundred years. Okay. Okay, pretty. Why we using NH pectin? Okay, one thing, NH pectin reversible, and then save time. It's fast reacting. So if you use it NH pectin, you can system to cook the NH pectin. You just after boil, you cook another 10, not 10 minutes, maybe about 5 minutes. That is done. You can use, you will get the texture. If you feel not satisfied, you still can add the liquid inside, or maybe you feel too liquid, you can extra cook. That's why we using NH pectin, because for mass production or big production, NH pectin will be a bit slightly easy to handle, control. If you're using yellow pectin, they will take more time to cook, maybe take 20 minutes to cook the jam to half an hour. If you're using for the long, big production, like for example, 5 kilo apricot, they will take maybe 1 hour to cook. And expecting no, 10 minutes maximum done. Okay, there's a reason we're using for apricot marmalade. Is there any variation such as fun to make in the modern? Actually, they already have the recipe over there. We're still using the Sacher spun. Ours recipe is a bit modern. The classic one, there is the Sacher spun is like the creaming method. After that, they add in the meringue inside and you spread it. Which you mix well there is a butter creaming method already. You add the flour. Then after that, you do one meringue. Then you fold and add the chocolate inside. That's all. Almost like the pain gin. Okay. It's normal pectin and HB is different. Mixing ratio both different. It's different. The ratio is totally different. Okay. Normal pectin is yellow pectin. NH pectin is NH pectin. It's totally different applying. Okay, player. Okay. The ratio also is different. So you stick to here. You're using the NH pectin one. You still cannot say simply you change. What if you change to the normal pectin, the result come out will be different. It will be slightly dense, and then you need to cook under 104 only that can set well. If not, another one thing, the normal pectin, you also need to use acid to react. They need the calcium, everything to react it. Okay. I know the cost of the NH pectin will be slightly expensive, but not much different. The price slightly expensive only compared with the yellow. Any question, guys? No, I don't I didn't see the NH pectin cheaper brand. So far, we also using the you can search. I'm not sure in other country. For Malaysia, we normally be using the famous one is that. Suddenly I forget the name, guys. Let me think. I search in the. You can use Sosa, no problem. For me, Sosa considered expensive. If you don't have the, yeah, you can use the Fansua is the best. Okay, normally academy using the Louis Francois. Okay, I write down here. Okay, you can search for this brand. Okay, we normally using this brand, Louis Francois. The name called pectin. Pectin NH nappe. You can find this one. The cost for 1 kilo is about euro 47 ringgit. No, 47 euro. It's not cheap, huh? Okay. But you're using very less. Okay. It's just few gram. So you can use very long. Any question? Question, guys? If not, there's no question for that, right? So I will go through another one. Mille-feuille. Any question, guys? Puff pastry, muslin, and then how to do the caramelize of the top of the puff pastry. Mille-feuille Q&A. Guys, any question about the mille-feuille? Okay. Side normally we were using the praline flavor. Okay, praline flavor is a classic one. They actually in the mille-feuille they got so many flavor nowadays. For the classic is the normal muslin. They add in the butter, cream patisserie, and praline inside. This is the classic. Okay, so after that they come out a lot of flavor like ispahan, chocolate, matcha, and then blah blah blah. Less barely any flavor that change on it. Okay, but they still stick to the same. They're using the muslin, or maybe they change to the buttercream. Then they change other type of the ingredient inside, but they still is the using the puff pastry to make this cake. Okay, the mille-feuille they call mil is 1000, fil is the leaf, which is a this dessert is very freaky, and then when you bite inside you will hear a lot of sound crack crack crack. There is a shape like when you bite the leaf like that. Okay, that's why they call mille-feuille. And then another reason they say call mille-feuille because the layer of the puff pastry is more than 1000 layer. Okay, to make the cream, why use custard powder when we using the egg? The custard powder help is the actually almost the same similar like the corn flour. They will help you to set. So the difference is they're using the custard powder. They will help you to provide another egg flavor inside. There's a reason why we add in the custard powder. Shin, should PDF will not request for me. Okay, you can request from the admin guys. For the muslin, if we add too much seasonal paste, example like 10% inside, yes, they will become split. Because this recipe actually contain a lot of the praline already. You still need more. Why you don't you directly buy the muslin inside the during your piping for the muslin, the muslin, right? You can pipe some the praline inside of the cream also can. Okay, Jin Hong, so you can use this method. If you still add on, can. But I scared your hazelnut muslin will be not split. It's not easy to hold the shape and then easy to collapse. How long can we store puff pastry sheet after baking? Is it advisable to store after caramelized before? Okay, so if you've done the folding puff pastry sheet after baking, no, I hope you don't keep for next day. You can use immediately, it's the best. If you really want to use maximum also 1 day, you need to put back to the freeze oven to reheat to make the thing not to crunchy back. If not, you put the silica gel to inside to provide the humid, right? They still will be soggy. And then your flour inside got you're using flour, right? So the puff pastry where we have the gluten, they have the protein, they will turn dense. You need to understand. So mille-feuille, after 1 day, normally people won't be sale again because the next day the puff pastry already soggy. I'm not recommend you caramelize it after you still need to store because you store inside the chiller, the puff pastry also will become due to humid, they will become liquid. So that is not good. Okay, it's the best you bake fresh and caramelize fresh, serve fresh. This is the method how you sell the mille-feuille. If not, you just eat like that. Don't keep few days like that. That is not good because the protein inside of your puff pastry will turn hard, and then they will soggy. Everything will be good. And then I also advise you all, if you want to eat the mille-feuille, go early. Don't go after 2-3 o'clock because even you put the cocoa butter to spray in the surface, they still will be soggy. Okay, they cannot skip one. Okay, Jin Hong again. Okay, note. And for the butter, I will use status of butter affect the texture of muslin. No, there won't be effect. You can request the file from the. You can drop the message to the Archive online. Okay, so you request the file from them. Can we use other nut praline to make the muslin? Yes, you can use the other type of the nut praline. You can use almond. You can use hazelnut. You can use the pistachio. Okay, it's depend on your budget. Any question, guys? For me, this muslin consider one of the best dessert for me as well because it's very rich flavor and then I can taste the texture. The buttercream is nice. It's not buttercream, the muslin is nice. And then it's very satisfying after it. Only one thing I don't like is the calorie is super high for this cake. After it, you need to do a lot of exercise or maybe you need to do a lot of fasting. Only you can cut out the calorie. Okay, I have tried the PMA mille-feuille in the France, super, because they're doing the same method with us, but they only add in the 1 layer of the crunchy praline inside. They come out the result super, honestly. Okay, any question, guys, for the mille-feuille? Okay, in the academy, we're teaching in the basic class, we'll do 2 double fold and 1 single fold. Okay, we'll do 2 double first, which is you folding for 2 already, then you keep back to the freezer, and then you do another 1 layer of the single fold. After that, you flatten until 3 to 3 mm like that. Then you can start bake. Not bake lah, you need to keep inside the chiller first. Any question, guys? For mille-feuille, any question, guys? Or you all is a master already for the puff pastry. So this one will be less question. If no question, I will jump to another. Anything, guys? So next will be blackberry salad. Okay. Check what is this. Okay. For the double fold, the thickness of the rolling. I normally roll until 6 mm, then I will start folding. Okay. 6 or 5 mm, then I will start fold the double. Then double fold already. Then until the last one also 5. Only after the single, only I go to the 3. So always remember you need to rest the puff pastry, blackberry salad. Any question? Blackberry salad. Any question about the lady finger, blackberry syrup, blackberry mousse, raspberry jelly? Okay. When the spun finger are baked, they should crispy like the cookies or a bit soft. They should be a bit soft, but the outside is a bit crunchy. Inside still soft. Okay. And then I not recommend you do after 2-3 days. If you can, possible you bake directly because you want to do the side of the cake. So if you put 2-3 days already, I got mentioned you keep the thing inside the freezer. The condensed protein inside of your spun, they will be turned hard. So it will possibility make your spun cracking. And then it's not easy to make the shape. Okay. So you need to take care about the lady finger. Normally after bake, we cool down, we will directly, because they're still soft and then easy to move, they still got elastic. So normally we will be directly use it. Lady finger keep inside the freezer only. You can sprinkle some icing sugar on top, then you put another punishment on top, you keep inside the freezer. Jin Hong, it's up to you if you want to come out some, because the sugar pearl effect on top of the spun, you can dust the icing sugar on top. Okay. For me, I do this cake. I normally for cover the side of the ring one, I don't sprinkle the icing sugar because it's look dirty. That's why I didn't sprinkle the icing. And then you need to remember after you sprinkle the icing sugar, they absorb the surface liquid already. They'll become a bit crunchy, but they also easy to crack. You need to understand about this one. And then after during you're moving the sponges, go to the side, your finger touch it. They also will make the thing look mess, and then they will see your fingerprint as well. Why is the name called Charlotte? Because the name called Charlotte from French guy, maybe it's one of the queens that. Okay, this cake is great by Antoine Calamet. I didn't know why they call Charlotte. Maybe it's one of the queen Charlotte. They like this cake very much, so that they call Charlotte. Another one cake also for very famous in the Russian is called Charlotte Luce. Okay. Kathy, can I join only now? Cost time different can be ensured that admin post PDF please. Maybe they will record it, then they will post in the future. Site, what will be the change in the setting agent replace blueberry passion fruit? Normally for basic class, we're using gelatin. We haven't used the pectin yet. Okay. Yes, for gelatin powder, you must bloom first. Even you're using the gelatin sheet, you also need to soak inside the cold water to get it soft. Only you go through the microwave. Okay. all baking are chef baking with fan, oven, or conventional. What you see in the question online, normally we're using the convection oven because due to the timing will be faster. And then just only your own baking experience, you know, maybe the deck oven we're using 10 minutes to bake, combi oven is 8 minutes. So for us will be a bit fast and then easy. You can flavor the lady finger, no problem. You can add in the other type of the dry ingredient inside. For example, you can add the coffee powder inside, or maybe you want to add some paste inside, but you need to check. I don't recommend the lady finger. You need to add in the flavor. You can put the champagne flavor, but it will easy to make the thing collapse up. If not, you can change the flavor of the syrup will be easy. Which is you brush the syrup inside the lady finger. If you really want the color, then you add in the coloring will be easy your life. If not, another one thing is like then sometimes you can maybe you can do the puree reduction. Then you add inside the you can let inside to the lady finger also can, which is like the paste. You can add 5 to 10% inside the after the mixture is done. Which is after you fold in the flour, you add in one part of the paste inside. You can buy the commercial one, or if not, you're using the puree reduction. Any question about the shallot? For the most, what is the best temperature of mixture folding the cold whipping cream? For me, this one is 32. 30 also can. Side question, please. What blend you recommend for convention? Oh, this one I'm not sure because I'm not from your country. At the first time baking my oven is darkness. The stop heat doesn't work for same. Okay. I very rare can answer you the question. Okay, shit. Because I don't know where you're from. Another one thing is maybe I didn't use the brand before. I cannot recommend you. Okay. So oven is very hard to say. Or maybe it's so special. Actually, what oven also can use. If you choose already, you need to understand the character of oven. You also can come out a very good products. Okay. I cannot say I recommend for Malaysia Academy, we're using SingMac. Okay. SingMac. If you have the budget, why not you buy the expensive one? Okay, you can buy the expensive like the French one or Italian one, also very good. But you also need time to understand the oven. You need to try. Any question, guys? Any question, guys? For the blackberry salad, you can recheck the recipe. Okay, if no question, I will bring to next is Swiss roll. Any question, guys, about Swiss roll? See, I think chapter have the mention before how what kind of the texture you supposed to raise the pig. not mistaken, check time will be say medium hard. Okay. When you do the lady finger. If you go soft, they will be collapsed. Medium also not so stable because you have a lot of dry ingredient to mix well inside. So normally it's a medium hard. Flavor. This is the Japanese roll cake as well. There's the honey is the flavor. Also is the one of the replacement for the cloves. So you using honey is better flavor than using the cloves. So your sponge will be still condense some moisture inside using honey and the glucose. If you just put sugar, it's a bit dry. CL, I think you didn't proper cook well. Maybe the surface still condense some moisture. You take out from the oven, right? That's why you peel it. Your skin will peeling. Another reason is because if your sponge haven't cooled down well, they still condense some heat inside, you restart roll. So the heat after that, you roll already, you keep the sponge inside the chiller so that the heat will come out inside the stick to they will evaporate, then they will stick the skin, go to the punishment. There is a reason. Any question about Swiss roll? It's a simple, but actually they also have a lot of technique you need to understand. Sabayon is important because you break the bubble inside, which your sponge will be spongy. If you didn't do the sabayon nicely, you didn't do the slow down, the bubble inside of the sabayon will be not stable. They'll become big bubble and small bubble during you mix right, collapsing. Another thing, the texture. If you control the sabayon nicely, everything go well, they will be stable and then not easy to collapse during the folding. Then the end result of the Swiss roll will be smooth and soft. Commonly, we do sabayon for first 10 minutes for high speed. After that, we can go slow, about 5 minutes. It will take longer time. I'm not sure chiffon cake, but a lot of people using chiffon cake to do the method. But I tell you honestly, the chiffon sponge will be easy to do than compared with this cake. Okay, this one Swiss roll method. If you didn't bake well, if you didn't control the sabayon nicely, because chiffon, you don't forget you have the cream of tartar to stable the egg white. You have the baking powder inside. So even you collect some, they still can raise. This one, no, all natural ingredients. If you say you can do the chiffon nicely, but you cannot do the normal genoise like the separate egg one nicely, I will know your skill where is it. Okay. So if you can do the good sabayon, good meringue, then you can count on very good Swiss roll sponge, then which you have the base very good skill. CL same already. I already answered the question. Yes, you need to keep your whipped cream as a chiller, 0 degree to 4 degree. Okay, Jinong, one side question. If we see another recipe is also whip up the egg yolk up, can we use Sabayon method or depend on recipe? In this recipe, we also whip the egg yolk up, guys. Except you using the chiffon recipe, or then different story, and then they want only to whip up. If normally the Japanese Swiss roll or maybe the basic Swiss roll, we have in the academy, normally you need to whisk up the egg yolk to do the nice sabayon and mix it all together with the whipped cream. How to make the long stable whipped cream? It depends on you. I cannot say I can make if you respect everything, the cream is cold, then you whip up nicely, then it should be stable. If not stable, which is your room is too warm, or maybe your cream not cold enough, or maybe you over whip, or maybe you whip not enough. Okay, there is a very simple whipped cream only, guys. So you may ask how to get stable. You can add stabilizer inside, but I don't recommend. You're not professional already like that. You become like the commercial factory like that. You just add the commercial stabilizer inside to whip to make the whipped cream stable. It's not good. The stabilizer, oh, it's a chemical. I don't recommend you all eat. Why I need to do this presentation? You can see the video is a presentation for this scale, guys. Okay, when baking genoise, there are time as lower part become compare like rubber texture. This is the reason I bake the cake ring slightly sealed back, no wax. I think if you say there is like the rubbery texture which is collapse, you already collapse your sponge. There is no more bubble enough so that the collapsing, they become liquid or sink on the bottom. That's why you get the rubbery texture. So take care of your folding skill. When you mix with the sabayon and egg white and then mix out the flour, lastly you add in the butter, right? Butter and milk. So you need to take care. If your mixture become very liquid, which is very collapsing bubble, normally you will get rubbery texture. Okay, so you need to understand about it. Umi, I don't recommend the cream chantilly. You also need to add in the gelatin. Not necessary. So far, yes, for the some bakery they will add the gelatin. For the professional one, I not cream chantilly. Even the French guy, normally nobody will add in the gelatin inside. Any question about Swiss roll? Any guys about Swiss roll? Okay, if not, next mocha cake. Okay, Kriti, your cake crack while rolling. Okay, they have two reasons. One more thing is you bake too long. Okay, you bake over more than 15 to 16 minutes, which you collapse, you evaporate extra liquid, your sponge becomes turn dry. So when you roll it, you put the pressure, there is not elastic enough so that they're cracking. Another reason also they were cracking is you undercoat. You undercoat already, that's why they contain a lot of moisture. Your sponge texture is too soft. Okay, too soft already. So what happened? You pull it, you combine it, they crack as well. Because the structure haven't cooked well, you already take out, so they cannot hold nicely, so that's why they crack. There's the two reasons: too dry or undercooked. Which is overcooked and undercooked. So this cake is very straightforward. If you can control nicely, they will come out very nice. That's why I say it's difficult compared with the chiffon cake. Is different. Mocha cake, guys. Any question? The genoise, buttercream, and coffee syrup. No red velvet, guys. I'm sorry. You can go masterclass series in future. Not mistaken, I remember Chef Cam will have the masterclass series for the red velvet cake. Any question about the mocha cake, guys? No, I won't say about cake emulsifier because I'm not the guys who like to use a cake emulsifier. I don't spend the time to explain here. I don't use. That's why I don't recommend to use as well. I hope most of the chef they can do the very well even without the emulsifier. You can do the nice one, which is that one is a real skill. Okay. If you cannot make it, practice. If you're using emulsifier, which is you cheating yourself, your skill haven't reached that level, but you add the emulsifier like you cheating yourself, I can get a very good stable. But your cake, people for professional chefs, they taste already, they know whether you add the emulsifier or not more emulsifier. They can see your production, they can see your skill already. And then the emulsifier will create the extra flavor for your sponge. And then after it, you will feel like something like wax your tongue. What is SMBC? For the buttercream for mocha cake, because this is about 300 to 400 years cake. So last time they only have the buttercream, they don't have the whipped cream, they don't have the, today you have the wheat ganache, blah, blah, blah. So they're using the buttercream to make the mocha cake is normal. This cake also from the time for Antoine Carignan, which is 1006, which is now already almost 400 years, already have the mocha cake. It's older than us. Why you all write out Swiss meringue buttercream? I don't understand. Basic level normally we using the more on classic. Why suddenly come out the Swiss meringue buttercream? I don't use. So I according the recipe. According the recipe of the academy. So don't run out of the subject. Why suddenly you request this recipe for us? Why you need to use a Swiss meringue? Why you don't use Italian will be more safe? Yes, you do the Swiss meringue, you blend meringue 65. Also can, it's not say cannot, but I recommend you use Italian. Will be more stable compared with the Swiss meringue. You do Swiss meringue later, you accidentally you cook the egg white, they become lumpy, they become like how we say the scrambled egg like that. It's more worse. So better you using the Italian will be more stable. If not, you can use the patabum as well. Or maybe you can say Sabayon as well. It depends on the buttercream. They have the American buttercream, they have the Swiss buttercream, they have French buttercream, they also have the Italian buttercream. Yes, just now I already give the recipe of the coffee paste. Jinhong, I'm not sure because normally I go to 2 times only. I will go to 2 times, I fold in everything. If the volume is big, then only I will extra the time. It's also depend on your folding skill. If you cannot folding like, I cannot say because I fold for so many years. I know how to fold it already. Maybe I fold 2 times and done everything. Maybe you can go 3 to 4 times, up to you. It depends on your production. And then also depend on your equipment as well. What is your bowl you have, big or small, and spatula. And then your scale, everything is depends. If you cannot do like us, then you can go extra one or 2 times. Okay, sometimes my Italian buttercream look watery after mixing. What it become liquid? Normally your Italian, your sugar syrup haven't cooked enough. You already pour. Or if not, your thermometer is not accurate. You need to check. Another one more reason you keep the Italian meringue inside the chiller too long already, only you fold. Normally the buttercream we do the Italian meringue already, we will add the butter immediately. We won't wait. Because during your Italian meringue done already, you keep outside too long, they will be collapsing. Yes, I know you cook in that one way, but your thermometer accurate or not? Another thing is it you after cook the Italian meringue, you keep outside for so long, 2-3 hours only you fold in the butter. It depends. Everything you need to check. You need to buy you don't use the normal thermometer because sometimes it's not accurate. You need to check. Okay, Amikan, you can check. You boil the water, it's 100 degrees. You put your thermometer to check it. If the thermometer is show it, maybe it's 98, sometimes it's 102. So you according the measurement to use the thermometer. For example, I have hot water now, it's boiling. It's 102 degree for my thermometer. So every time I extra 2 more degree for the thermometer. So I will get the accurate thermometer temperature. Clear? Any question about mocha cake? No, CL, don't use the thermometer infrared. It's not accurate. Okay, don't use the infrared thermometer. They cannot check the temperature inside of the sugar syrup because sugar syrup after they cook more than 100, they will start thicken due to your sugar reaction. So you need to use a needle or poke in to check the temperature is the best. Okay, temperature of meringue is too high. We add into the butter, will be melt the butter and become runny. Yes, Jin Hong, will become runny. Normally, I will add after body temperature. Or maybe your meringue cool down, only add in also can. If you add 45 degree, a bit dangerous, because 50 degree, which is more hot, more warm than our body. You imagine the butter melt or not? You imagine your mouth is 37 degree 0.5 or maybe 36, 35. You place the butter, they also take 3 to 4 seconds and melted already. If you put 50 degree out. So imagine. Okay, guys, next. I also prefer you use the Italian meringue as soon as possible. Italian buttercream as soon as possible. Don't wait too long. Because you done already, you still got leftover, you want to reuse, you keep inside the chiller, right? You keep inside the chiller, what happened? After that, when you take out from the chiller, they will defrost. Defrost, they will come out liquid. So you need to emulsify again. So it will take a lot of time. So every time, Umikan, you use the volume you want. Okay, don't do too much. For example, you see the mocha cake recipe too big, then you deduct to half. Then you just take the volume you want. You don't every time you do too much of the recipe, it will be difficult for yourself. And then also easy to manage your costing. Any question about the mocha cake, guys? It depends, Jin Hong. This one I cannot guarantee because got so many cut of the buttercream. I cannot promise you. Our school one actually very stable. Our school recipe, the one you're using is actually a bit stable. Okay, I cannot guarantee because in this world got few 10K or 20K type of the buttercream recipe. I cannot promise what is the best ratio. For me, our school one is not bad. Even you see the other famous chef buttercream like the Pierre or maybe Stephen Garcia, the ratio also is all different. It just depends on what recipe you have and then which one you like to use it, which one is suitable for your cakes. And then some buttercream is suitable for cupcake, some buttercream is suitable for the mocha cake, some is suitable for the other type of cake. It depends, like opera. You need to check. Because one day you become chef, you need to consider about that. You need to think about that. Hey, which buttercream is the best for my cake? You need to test already. Then you can suddenly I think hey, academy recipe is not bad, or maybe other chef like other famous chef recipe book. You get the recipe is good, or maybe yes. Okay, I think so far mocha cake you all don't have question. Now we go through the black forest. Black forest from German, okay. Okay. Omikan, maybe you can ask after the black forest question about the spray gun. Or maybe you can ask after the next 2 day, 22nd, you can ask during the chocolate class also can. Okay, the black forest plant we're using inside the black forest is actually is genus, but they contain the almond powder inside. And then the flour content is slightly low. Okay, you can check that the recipe only have the egg, sugar, almond powder, icing, rose flour, cocoa powder, and butter. Okay, this cake is actually very suitable for the black forest because they can soak the syrup as much as possible, and then the texture won't be too hard and soft. It's almost same like the texture of the classic black forest cake. Okay, there is a bit simple almond chocolate cake. Okay, there is normal sponge, the replacement some almond powder inside, so you get the flavor of the almond and the chocolate as well. Almost the same time. Okay, so if you cannot get the option of course, maybe you can use the another one, Morero cherry syrup, which is the red color one. They soak inside the. Oh, this one is for the halal one, which you don't have the alcohol content. If you cannot get it, you can use that one, the Morero cherry. You can buy inside the bakery shop. They decorate with the mocktail one. That one, the flavor also almost like Kirsch. If not, you can use other type of the blendy. The white rum also one of the option you can replace with the Kirsch. Okay, Bagadi like that. Maybe you can change. Chef, I noticed that black forest plant is very soft. Can we make this plant other flavor? Don't change to other flavor. The black forest is go to the chocolate flavor, is chocolate flavor. You don't change to a pistachio flavor. You can change, but you don't say it's the black forest. In German, you want to say what is the black forest must be the chocolate sponge. You must be have the how many percent condensed black forest, the cherry inside, and then what kind of cream you're using. Only you can call black forest. If not, you need to put other name. This is the German. German and Austria almost the same. Like some of the cake like black forest I mentioned just now, you must be have the 50% of the cherry spun and cream is another 50%. Only you can go black forest. If your cherry is only 30%, you need to call cherry cake. You cannot call black forest. It's okay. Try your best. Okay, maybe you can try the sponges nicely. Okay, you as your challenge because this black forest sponge is not easy to make. Okay, if you can make nicely, you have the skill to how to make the good sponge already. You give yourself is a one of the challenge. You can practice this sponge. If you achieve the similar like Chaptan, then you success. It's an exam for yourself. Any question about the black forest? Rejuva, I mentioned already the Morero cherries, the red color one, which is normally people using to decor the decorations on top of the chandelier. You're using that syrup to replace for the rum and kush. If not, you just using the sour cherry syrup to replace it also can. Guys, any question? Any question, guys? If you want to use a substitute of grapeseed oil, you can use a corn oil, canola oil also can. Any question, guys? Okay, if you no question, okay, start now. You can ask about the other side of the question. If I can answer, I can answer. But for the eggless, I won't answer and vegan. Okay, you can ask now. But the best, the subject I handle. Okay, which is you see in the. You can ask me the basic, and then some of the intermediate and advanced you can ask. But you don't ask me the display anything because you better ask the chef who handle. Okay. Any question, guys? Secondly, inverse sugar is the tremolin, which is the sugar to help you to provide the sugar. For example, for travel cake or bonbon, they will be help you to prevent the sugar crystallize after you store it for 1 month. Any sugar after they store it long, they will crystallize, become hard. They will affect the texture. That's why you add in the inverse sugar to replace some, so that you can prevent the ganache turn hard. Inside the cake, you can retain the moisture. That is the inverse sugar. Okay. How the inverse sugar? There is a sugar syrup that add in the acid inside, so that they create the inverse sugar like that. Susan, confirm have people want to change the margarine to for the butter because they want to deduct the cost, or maybe they want a margarine flavor. For me, I don't recommend you use the margarine because it's a trans fat. So if you eat too much, your customer will be happy. In future, they will take a lot of trans fat that will affect the body. So you need to check. If you want to substitute, you can substitute because margarine is very good for retain the moisture. And then like for Malaysian, they do the butter cake. You didn't add the margarine, they say there is not butter cake. This one is my personal experience when I cook the margarine cake, butter cake for my mom. They say nice. If I use the pure butter, they say not nice. Ingenious. Okay, I check too long suddenly. Some people, okay. Genus fun egg function to give the structure to the cake. I'm trying to understand why to make the eggless other ingredients. Okay, the genus, the egg function, will help you to copper the egg, okay? Which is you collect the bubble during you whisk the sugar and egg, okay? They help you to hold the bubble, then you fold in the flour, so everything they turn right, so you get a very spongy, okay? If you see the eggless, normally they will use baking powder or other type to replace it. Other kind of the alpha baba, they want to make it, okay? Intermediate Japanese classic for the patabo will be bubble collect relative to room temperature. And second question is make mousse first, put aside continuous cream chantilly, the mousse cooperate. Okay, patabo, when you want to use, only you beat. If you leave it outside in the room temperature, the compound will be collapsed. And then if you really want to slow down the collapse, you keep inside the freezer or maybe chiller. Okay. For second question, if we make mousse first, put aside continue make the cream chantilly will be collapsed. If your mousse done already, you do we continue make cream chantilly with the mousse correct. If your gelatin is very, if your mousse temperature is very cool already, then will be affect the texture after you mix well. It's a bit rough only. So, if for example, normally we will during waiting the mousse cool down, we will be ready the whipped cream on that time. If not, the mousse very fast to cool down one, we will whip the cream first. Actually, I say already, but the substitute of grapeseed oil is the corn oil, canola oil already. Just now I mentioned. But yeah, Alpha Baba, you better ask the Chat Angelo. I say about the vegan and the eggless, I won't answer here. Honestly, I'm not the master of the vegan and eggless. So I'm not the right person to answer you here. I scared I answer the wrong one later, you misunderstanding. I'm so sorry. Because Angelo, who handle it, he studied a lot of theory of the eggless. And then honestly, in Malaysia, egglet is not so popular, so that we haven't have experience to do too much. Due to the trend now, everybody like the eggless. So I will catch up in future. Okay, understand, Asha, no problem. I thought you just now already in. Any question, guys? Now it's 5:30. If you no question, I will stop here. Appreciate. What make it crumbly? What make not crumbly? I don't understand. Oh. How come? What kind of cake you make it crumbly? What kind of cake? Which recipe? Ah, okay. You can ask about the egg gun spray. Any question, guys? Like the strawberry shortcake reverse creaming of the cream Angelo turn crumbly when I make it, huh? Can you ask this one during the Chat Angelo class eggless, because I'm not sure the recipe? Because you say about strawberry shortcake. I think that one is the eggless, right? So maybe they're using the baking powder. It's different. So you need to check, okay? Because it's the eggless, I'm not sure. Because if you say the Japanese strawberry shortcake, I can answer you because the class I doing. For eggless, normally they're using the baking powder to aerated the sponges so that maybe your baking powder power maybe is a single or double, it will affect it. Okay, Umikan, maybe your A spray gun is the A brush machine or the spray gun for the cocoa butter? For sure, if for the cocoa butter, you must have the compressor or A brush machine to hold it to spray out. If you don't know how to use it, you can refer to the chapter and one sugar display or maybe intermediate sugar display. On that subject, you the classes you can see chapter how they all use it. Because I very hard to answer you because I don't have any machine here. I cannot show you because I'm in the house now. I'm not in the academy. I don't have the airbrush machine here. I cannot show you. If not, I can show you immediately. Because I also don't know whether you buying the compressor one is the for airbrush or maybe for the cocoa butter spray. So you can refer if you want to check the chocolate display one. Cocoa butter should be melt first. No, cocoa butter must be 28 to 30 degree. And then after we add in the color, we will temper until 23 degree. Only we use at 30 degree. Umikan, if you want to spray the cocoa butter, you cannot use gel color. It won't be set. You must be use a powder or oil base. Same, then Santos, I cannot answer you this question because the milk powder, the country you have and my country is different. Okay, you can check. You just find the skim milk powder will be easy your life. How does the single acting double reacting powder affect the cake? Yes, the power. The power of baking powder is double one is you still can overnight the batter until tomorrow you bake also nothing happen because the double reaction, double acting is because one acting is before you mix well, the attached with the liquid they will start react. This one is a single. That's why some of the recipe they're using single reaction one, they will ask you, oh, after mix well, directly put the cake inside to the oven, don't wait too long. Double reacting is they also have the single reacting function, but they have one more acting is when they receive the heat, only they react another one. So that the double reacting will be more stable and then more powerful than the single reacting. So you need to check. Any question, guys? Can you recommend some book that improve the skill? Okay, I tell you honestly, you want to improve your skill, you need to practice more. If you want to improve your knowledge about the theory part, then you need to buy books. Okay, so you can find the book like some like Lee Gordon Blue, like Institute of America baking of in Institute of America. The kind of book is quite thick one. You can find in the any Amazon, or maybe some of the, maybe you can search in the Lazada or Shopee in Malaysia. You can search from there. Maybe you can get the second hand, will be cheaper. Then the one inside the book, you can give you the understanding about the theory part for baking, and then the ingredient knowledge, how you become the professional chef, how you take care of the hygiene, everything. That one is for the skill improve. Just practice. You do more, then starting will be difficult, then you become easy, you become pro, like that. I share baking soda and baking powder. This one you can check in the Google. I don't spend the time to ask here. You can search the Google. No need to ask me here, because this one is very simple. You can spend time to check in the Google. This one is very simple information you can get in the Google, or maybe the Google image also have the differentiate. So you find that we don't spend our time to answer here. Anything, guys? So this is the one of the book you can search, Lee Gordon Blue Professional Baking. Author will be Winnie Glazing. Maybe it's not the baking Lee Gordon Blue already. You just find the author by this guy. You can get the book. It's a very useful information inside, if you want the knowledge. By the way, if you don't want to buy the book, you can search in the Google. Okay, Google also got a lot of the information of baking. Like for example, I just now I mentioned to somebody, what is the baking soda, baking powder, what is different, when is the right time to use as baking ammonia, blah 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 blah. Gordon Blue sent an FCA check online, but Gordon Blue accept international at their school in Malaysia. Oh, this one you don't ask me. I cannot answer you. Okay, Kathy, I cannot answer you. Maybe you can drop a message to my boss. Any question, guys? Okay, so far no question. We can end the class over here. Is it everybody okay? Okay, no feedback. Bye bye. I see you on another 2 more days. Bye bye and thank you. Have a good weekend. So I end the class here. See you next time. Thank you.